So you've already learned about the glory of Gatsby-image, and now we want to use it in our markdown pages, since we're intending this to be a blog or some type of format like that, and we want to use markdown. Now, if you're wondering why this doesn't just work, well, with Gatsby-image, we had to say use this image component, and we're also using this data query here, right? But we can do that because we're in a React component. We're writing JSX here. But in Markdown, it's just Markdown. So how do we get that image, say I want to put it right here, or let's say I want to put it right after the first page or something like that, or this heading. So normally in Markdown, you can do an image here and say the alt text or whatever, and then here you put your path. So we'd go ... maybe images / and then I'll grab this name and paste that there, .jpg. So this is not going to work. Might be confusing when you're newer to Gatsby UI, but the thing about this is, let's take a quick inspection of this image, and you can see it's looking for that, right? That's the path that it's made. It hasn't tied it to where it actually has output it in this public static folder. Okay, so we need to be able to do that for one. For two, we want to be able to use image sharp. So we want to put it through that whole sharp processing pipeline and get all the cool stuff that we learned about in the last video. So let me show you how you can learn about that. You could start here, which is a pretty good, where's the top of that? Working with images in Markdown posts and pages. If you search down Markdown images, this is commonly what's going to come up. This is pretty lengthy, and it's worth a read. But if I'm looking for a reference to set it up, this is a bunch of different ways to do this as far as querying and all that stuff, using all these different plugins, inline images. But we can just go over to Gatsby-remark-images, the plugin, and utilize this to set it up. And that's what we're going to do in this video. So if you search Gatsby-remark-images, I don't know what's happened, but it's actually kind of hard to find this just from the search. I had a Google search to get here, because no matter what format I type in remark images or whatever, it gets me an actual post about it, and not this one, not the actual plugin. So anyways, what we're going to want is this Gatsby remark images here. So let me just copy that. And this one's a little bit different than the other plugins we've set up, which you're going to see. Oh, this is really funny. Let me show you that real quick. That's pretty funny. This Janko Verleek, or however you say his name, has this interesting little special character before it that I don't know about, and it thinks that that is an emoji. So we are getting a warning about that. I'm just going to ignore it because I'm not going to be using this in the end for now. So let's do yarn add Gatsby remark images. That should be good. And what we want to do is then go into our Gatsby config as usual. And you might think that you could just pass, Gatsby, well, I already have it on my clipboard, right? Gatsby remark images. But unfortunately in this situation you can't. This is kind of an interesting one, because what you need to do is look at your Gatsby transformer remark and embed it in there. So right here, they have Gatsby plugin sharp, and then you can see inside that they're resolving Gatsby transformer remark, or actually that's on the top, sorry, not inside that. And then there's this object, Gatsby transformer remark, and then there you're going to do options, plugins. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So let me just type it out here. So Gatsby transformer remark, we can no longer do this as a simple string. We have to say resolve now, because we want to pass some options to it. And actually I do want that. And then, so you're going to do options here, and I might as well just close this real quick. We'll do that there. So options is kind of interesting. We're going to go straight into plugins from options. So like how this plugins has one, so too can it, keep recursively, I don't know if that's the right term, go downward. So plugins. This is going to be an option that we want to resolve, and then this is going to be our Gatsby remark images. Now we could actually just pass a string into this if we don't want to do any options, but since we're going to want to throw some options on in a moment, we might as well just do it this way for now. All right, so let's do a rebuild here. And head on back over to our page as soon as that's done and see if that worked. Reload this, and there you go. Notice that it's centered. That's kind of interesting, right? Well, that is pretty common, you know, for any sort of blog type material. They're just trying to make your life a little bit easier by auto-centering this. If you didn't want that behavior, I'm not sure how you would opt out of it. I'm sure you could set up your markdown template to kind of, you know, undo that style or something like that. So it is kind of sumptuous for them, but yeah, I think it's okay because every time I'm ever wanting to do images in markdown, I want them centered anyways. So by default, we have this image that's size is 650. That seems to be the default max width. It should scale down, and it also will have the blur in effect that you can see there. So we're getting all of that. It's a JPEG right now. So what we want to do now is pass some options to it. So the options that are available, we want to get, let's start here, max width. We can change this. Let's say we want it to be 800 pixels, okay? We want to set with WebP to true if we do want WebP. And then let's just do like traced SVG. I think that's all uppercase, pretty sure. And so this traced SVG, we've only ever done that as like a Boolean option, true. But I'm going to show you that you can actually set your color like so. Let's just do like coral or something like that. A lot of stuff here. Now this is going to have to restart. So luckily they put this little button here. That's restarting my server. And I can just wait for that to be done. Okay, cool, right? You can see that's WebP now. It should be a little bit bigger, if you don't believe me, 800, see? And same resizing thing, and then you can see when we load in, it's that coral background, or highlights, I should say, that we showed. So that's pretty much it. You'll want to take a look at this plugin. I'll link this in the description, this page. But you want to take a look here and look at all these options, because there are some pretty cool options that you know, I've kind of found that people have skipped over and don't know that you can do all this stuff. They've made this pretty convenient with this plugin, just setting them. There is kind of a downside with this as far as like the traced SVG type of thing, setting the color. You can only do that, you know, at this root level right now. So you couldn't really set this to like the colors of this image and set it on a per page basis, as far as I know. But you know, if you're looking for a quick bullet solution, this works pretty dang well, I think. And I think that's where we'll call it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one.